Hello, McFluffy52 here, bringing you more Brothers War action. Today, I'm bringing a Mardu deck that I'm calling Mardu Scam. This deck idea sort of came to me when I was watching an MTG Goldfish video where they were playing in Modern, and there's a Modern deck that uses like creatures that come in, and then they're going to die at the end of the turn. And then what they do though is they use Undying Malice for 1 black mana, so that instead of that creature dying, it returns to the battlefield tapped with a +1/+1 counter. So the same idea follows. In standard, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be using Undying Malice in combination with Arms Race, which says you may put an artifact card from your hand onto the battlefield. That artifact gains haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of your next, or of the next end step. Sorry. So this works well with Undying Malice, so that we can go ahead, send out a Cityscape Leveler for 4 mana, hasted, attack in, and then at the end of the turn we can use Undying Malice to go ahead and keep it alive, paying only 1 mana for it. So this lets us cheat out artifacts for a much cheaper cost. We also have another sort of combo with Undying Malice, is we're playing a bunch of these prototype creatures. We want artifact creatures to work with Arms Race because it only says artifact cards. Well, Cityscape Leveler is an artifact, Fleshgorger artifact, Combat Thresher artifact, Steel Seraph artifact, but more importantly, they're also prototypes, so we can play them for less mana and get a creature on the battlefield. Now, if we target one of these prototype creatures with Undying Malice and they die, they're going to go ahead and actually flip to their more powerful side when they are revived. So they will upgrade if they die while we have Undying Malice casted on them. Now, another thing that works well with this is Touch of the Spirit Realm. We can channel it to exile target artifact or creature, return to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So this works also with the prototypes really well because we can play a prototyped Steel Seraph, spend mana to make a to touch the Spirit Realm it, and when it returns it will be the upgraded side. So if you blink a prototype, it upgrades, right? Now this also works well with Arms Race because we can go ahead and blink it so we don't end up sacrificing it. Now Undying Malice only targets creatures. Touch the Spirit Realm allows us to target both artifacts or creatures to blink, and so this can let us actually keep around a Portal to Phyrexia if we happen to draw into it while Portal to Phyrexia is hasted and is going to be sacrificed. Lastly, we have another cool combo with Portal to Phyrexia and Arms Race. Arms Race lets you put an artifact card from your hand onto the battlefield. It gains haste, sacrifice at the next end step. So the trick is you can actually keep Portal Phyrexia around for your upkeep if you do it on your opponent's end step. This will trigger them to sacrifice 3 creatures, and then you get 1 creature revival out of it. Now, the rest of the deck is a fair amount of removal. So we got Depopulate here, we got Brothers War and both sweepers. Depopulate, not the best sweeper just because it gives people with multicolor creatures a card. So with standard nowadays, there's a lot of multicolored creatures, not the best thing to be running, but Brotherhood's and a really good card, deals 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker, destroy all artifacts with mana value 3 or less. Now, these cards also will hit our own creatures. That's another reason why Undying Malice is kind of nice. We also have Fable the Mirrorbreaker just for the card draw or the card filtering, and creating copies of these big artifact creatures is very nice. Lastly, we have some removal here with 2 Destroy Evils can hit the Shield Druids, the Haughty Djinns with toughness 4 or greater, or we can hit enchantments, and then we have Go for the Throat to deal with those non-artifact creatures. Also, Cityscape Leveler, great removal on a stick. Lastly, when everything keeps dying, we can get it back with Brilliant Restoration. We only have 1 copy of it here, but it's helpful for keeping us in the game and suddenly getting a bunch of creatures back. Now, in terms of lands, we have a bunch of duels. I just have all the rare duels that I have, as well as we're playing 4 Scoured Barrens. Those are the tapped gain lifelands because we want to be able to prototype our Phyrexian Fleshgorger as well as our Steel Seraph, which require double white or double black. And that will be it for the deck tech. Let's go ahead and hop into some games. I don't know how well this deck will perform in actual ranked queue, but I played one ranked game with it. We ended up winning. The other games were just played in standard queue. So let's go ahead and check it out. I'm going to try and keep this video to be a little bit of a shorter one, or not as long as my other videos, so that it's not as much of a commitment to watch, I guess. Let's see. Seems actually like a decent hand. We have Touch the Spirit Realm, which can help us upgrade a prototype. I'm going to go ahead and play Sundown Path here, because the tap land, these are both untapped. Playing against a burn deck, that's not very fun. Also not really good for us considering we are playing a bunch of burn lands, or pain lands, if you will. I think this is part of the reason why burn is so good right now. It's just the overwhelming amount of let me go ahead and get rid of this. Double arms race is not what we want to see. Go ahead, pass it to their turn. Wonder what our opponent will be playing here with 3 mana. I have not drawn into any of our board wipes. We have 4 of them, but reconfiguring the rabbit batteries to be on top of each other. Interesting. I'm gonna get rid of Etching of Kamano. End up taking 1 less damage there. And then I really would have liked to draw into another land there. We'll go ahead and get run on these rabbit batteries out of the way. That is the last thing we wanted to see. Mono red. Fight the brutal. Brutal set of cards. Go ahead and play an arms race. We're able to play that without losing life. Oh, that was the only creature we did not want to see. A haster. A haster that has extra power to it. To be fair, I think we were dead regardless. Actually, no. If they didn't play a haster there, we would have probably been able to survive. So that's a bit unfortunate. At least it was a quick match. We would have been able to rush out our Phyrexian Fleshgorger, gain 7 life, which would have been nice that next turn. Amazon Alexa, oh god. That's terrifying. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this hand. Like to see where it goes. Player Scoured Barrens, because it's a top land. We have nothing to play on one. Or nothing, yeah, that we can actually play on one. Undying Malice, we could only target the opponent's creatures, which is not something that we're interested in. We're gonna touch the Spirit Realms. That's we got quite the hand of removal. Removal, technically removal. Ooh, that's a card that we want to see. We're gonna go ahead and hold up removal here. We're playing the untapped land, so we can cast any of these instants. Opponent Resolute Reinforcements, so we want a board wipe here. Nothing short of a board wipe for us. Azorius Soldiers, is that what we're dealing with? Because if that's the case, we're about to get smashed. Because we still didn't. Yep, Soldiers. Up, there you go. I'll get it out of here. Probably would have been better to touch the Spirit Realm it, but I don't want to take the damage right now. And then, yeah, we're playing against the odds here. These draw 2 more lands. Or a board wipe. Opponent Plaza of Heroes. Yeah. Not that card, please. That is the reason to play Azorius Soldiers. Go ahead, take our 2 damage here. There we go. 1 mana closer to our dream. Could pick off the Harbin. Opponent with 2 mana here. Might have a counter spell. They have something at instant speed. Disenchant. Oh no. Probably will go Arms Race with Phyrexian Fleshgorger. Or, sorry. Cityscape Leveler. Opponent is going to deal, ooh, so much damage. Looking at 5 here and then 10 the next turn. Go ahead, play Arms Race. And then pass the turn and turn. Will Cityscape Leveler be enough? Are we just dead? Play your spell. Oh, they have the fucking Valiant Veteran. Yeah, go. This is what's wrong, dude. Swing in, dumbass. Like, actually. Sit there and GG for like 3 minutes straight. Like, what? I'm not there to watch you click GG. I'm there to, like, play the game. So, if you don't mind swinging in. So far, nothing but losses. I've really not been having those board wipes that we need. I do like this hand. We have a prototype creature with Undying Malice. We have a board wipe. Tap land that gains us life. That's an upside. We have double white for our Steel Seraphs. Mono red. Gonna burn us out. Good stuff. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Phoenix Chick. Opponent will dare an Epicure. If we draw another land, I will go ahead and cast Steel Seraph. If we don't draw another land, we're going to go ahead and cast Brotherhood's End. I think that's the idea here. Opponent probably just playing out a bunch of the creatures. Alright, we drew another land, so we'll go ahead and play Steel Seraph. Lifelink. Hopefully our opponent will not kill it in their spare time. They do probably have a lightning strike that they can send at the Steel Seraph. Will they go for it? I mean, if they hit the Steel Seraph, that's less damage we take. They go ahead and Volt Surge. Reckless Impulse. Lightning Strike. Our opponent here, a huge fan. Mono red. Go ahead, play our Steel Seraph out, and then hold up a Undying Malice to keep it alive. They'll probably use one of their burn spells on it. Opponent just lightning strike in the face. Lightning straight to face. You're gonna regret that, opponent. Go ahead, end our turn. Mechanized warfare is exactly what they want. But they do not have the mana for it. Now they do. Yep, that's the correct play. Opponent here is going to need to draw a Reckless Impulse into like 2 burn spells. That is quite the annoying one. But we still live. Is our opponent going to slam our Combat Thresher is the question. That is a huge upgrade. Draw a card. It's a 4/4 with double strike. Oopsie doopsie. Don't mind if I do. You know what we're going to do here? We're going to give this thing lifelink. Bang, bang. I think that would serve us quite well here. Do I go ahead and cast out another Steel Seraph? If we cast out another Steel Seraph, they have to kill multiple creatures here. I'm going to prototype it out. I don't think we need it full cost. And go ahead and end our turn. Maybe go for the throat if they want to cast anything else. And boom! Undying Malice coming in and securing us victory. Managed to keep our temper against the mono red and survive. And we were so close to arms racing that second game. Arms racing out a one of 2 creatures and then reviving it. Huh. We have Go for the Throat and Double Black for Phyrexian Fleshgorger and Undying Malice. I think this is a really good hand. Because we can play Phyrexian Fleshgorger, and if they want to kill it, we can go ahead and get it back. Play Scoured Barrens first turn. Our opponent, Crystal Grotto. It's an interesting choice of land. Probably a 5-color deck. Probably not Domain. It's like a Joda deck. This doesn't look like Joda, but I've been wrong before. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and play out the mountain here. Go ahead, probably play out Fable the following turn. Yep. It's looking like a 5-color deck. Surge Engine. Go for the throat, looking a little bit like a dumb card to have here. Opponent going ahead and crewing their Reckoner Bankbuster to swing in. Ouch. My turn. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Fable the Mirrorbreaker. Hopefully we can get rid of this Go for the Throat. And then we'll hold up Phyrexian Fleshgorger and Undying Malice. Opponent here got red, blue, black, Flame Discharge. They could have crewed the Reckoner Bankbuster first. So this would have, I think this does 2 damage. If you control a modified creature as you cast a spell, it does X plus 2 damage instead. So if they crewed that, Reckoner Bankbuster counts as being modified. Just, oh. That's pretty awesome. Go ahead, play this. Hold up Undying Malice. And turn. If they kill the Phyrexian Fleshgorger or swing in with their Bankbuster, we get to go ahead and revive it here. Though they might go ahead and just go for the Surge Engine. All in on the Surge Engine. Go ahead and draw. So in that case, we might go ahead and cast a Steel Seraph next turn. Or a second Phyrexian Fleshgorger. My turn. I think what I'll go ahead and do is I'll go ahead and attack first. Get us some life. Go ahead and block the Surge Engine first, I think is what we're going to want to do. Next to first strike damage. And then, do we want to hold up more Revival, or do we want to go for a Steel Seraph here? I think I'm going to hold up more Revival. Steel Seraph would be nice because we'd send it flying, and then... But we can always cast Steel Seraph next turn. Opponent casting Karn, creating a Power Stone. Drawing. Pass to attackers. My turn. Interesting. There's nothing I can really hit with my Go for the Throat besides my own creature, which would be pretty silly. What we'll go ahead and do here is we'll go ahead and go and play... maybe we'll play Arms Race? No, that's going to take all our mana. So we'll go ahead and do this. Tap our Phyrexia, or tap Kiki to create a Phyrexian Fleshgorger. We'll give this Vigilance, I think, is the idea. And our opponent goes ahead and scoops it up. Undying Malice coming in again with those prototype creatures. And we got to see the value of having red in the deck and as well with Kiki coming in and getting us a copy. Still no Arms Race yet, which is a bit sad. Could have played it that turn, but definitely better to try and get as much damage in and value out of our Kiki while it is alive, I think. Huh. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this hand. Got a pretty good set of removal here. Sweeper into Steel Seraph and Portal. Portal probably won't ever reveal to cast unless we draw into an Arms Race, which we have 4 of them in the deck. Though we do have 24 lands, and hopefully we'll draw into another. If we don't draw into another, we can only really stall for maybe like 2 turns at max. At least we do gain some life with the Scoured Barrens. Oh, we're going to be losing life with this card, which is less than ideal, but... do we mulligan? What does this say? Oh, I didn't... That must be new. Must be part of one of the newer updates. I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan and see what we get. We'll go ahead and keep this. You got the Undying Malice. Brotherhood's End. We do not have the mana to cast it, so we're just gonna go ahead and cry. Get rid of it. Opponent here probably playing some kind of black deck, I would think. Got the Gix sleeves. Their name is also Laughing Zombie, so probably not entirely wrong to assume that they're a fan of black or mono black. Though our opponent is timing out on the first turn, which is not a good sign. Perhaps something happened in the real world and they have to go respond to it. Yeah, this hand is very slow. I think with this deck, part of the problem is you are playing around pretty high cost cards. And so you need to top deck into lands, which is sometimes a problem. And then you also got the problem of your opponent's down, like, aggroing you out. Our opponent missing their first turn. Are they here now? Well, this at least gives us a chance to actually arms race. I do like the art for this card. I feel like they really did not need to make it so expensive to cheat out an artifact. It is a 4-mana card itself, so... like, they could have done 3 mana here, and it probably would have still been very... reasonable. I think it's maybe a limited thing more so. It's like you don't want to break the game with limited. Because this card would probably have been amazing and limited if it was 3 mana. Or maybe not amazing, but stronger limited. Opponent here failed to play the game. Unfortunate. Discarding down to hand size. Play a land. Kiki Jiki is just what we want to see. Or the Fable. Oh. I was like, what? There's 3 of 3? It's the other stuff. The tokens and the treasure. Or the goblin and the treasure. Opponent, again, I'm surprised the thing didn't time itself out yet. Ganjo. So yeah, we would have been able to go ahead and play Kiki Jiki. Maybe discard the Cityscape Leveler. And whatever we draw next turn. Hopefully draw into a land to get arms race down. And then maybe draw into another land and play Phyrexian Fleshgorger. Revive it with Undying Malice. Though admittedly we might want to keep Cityscape Leveler in some regards. Laughing Zombie. Timing out. This is one of our longer games. Alright. We can go ahead and play 2 more games, see if we can get the combo off. Otherwise, I might call the video there just so that this is not a terribly long video. Depopulate. Ay, ay, ay. 2 lands. 0 black mana. Let's go ahead and return one of these. 2 Sundown passes. There we go. Shattered Sanctum, that will come in handy. Too bad we did not have it the first turn to hold up and go for the throat. Intrepid Adversary. That's intimidating. I'm gonna go ahead and play Shattered Sanctum here. Might go into the Fable of Mirror Breaker next. So it would be nice to get rid of this Intrepid Adversary, but... Steel Seraph. I'm thinking more of a board wipe would be nice. See if we can get into a board wipe here. Hopefully they don't have a disenchant. Probably going to make the Intrepid Adversary flying and swinging, still give us 6 damage to the face. Go for the throat, not useful against this Steel Seraph. Geeks the Yawgmoth, that is also not what we want to see. Opponent here going to go crazy. Yup. Discard as many cards as we want. Well, I'm gonna discard this, probably the Cityscape Leveler as well, because we kind of need anything and everything we can do to stop this from happening. Okay, that's life gain. Not exactly what I'm thinking of. This costs 3 mana, so if they choose to swing in with something, we could prototype this out, but it will just die. I think I'm gonna go ahead and hold up the Iganjo. We're looking at 6 damage in the air, and then probably 6 damage in the air again. So you might want to use that Iganjo on the Steel Seraph rather than the Gix, but our opponent playing 3-color Esper, Gix, Liliana. Oi, oi, pack it in.
I'll have this fight finished before brunch.
Our opponent curving out here really, really well. Us not curving out at all. Price we pay to try and play something jank. Go ahead. I think I'm going to get rid of Steel Seraph here. Keep things on the ground for us. My question is, do we want to go in with Sokazun here? Got Depopulate. That's a good option. Oh, Depopulate onto our own reflection feels like crap, though. Ugh. Go ahead. I think we're going to have to go ahead and do this. I want to keep our reflection if we can. Attack in with one of these, kill the Liliana, so we actually get to keep ourselves alive to some degree. If they have a Steel Seraph, we are still alive. They have a removal spell, we're very sad. Rafine. Rafine. That is definitely not what we want to see. Okay, we might want to get cast that Depopulate here. Opponent holding up enough mana to counterspell it, but if we're gonna go ahead and cast Depopulate, might as well block it up. Bounce spell? Playing... What the heck, Dorothea? We give them a card now, which is very lame. Opponent, thinking about counterspelling. Maybe. Yep, may disappear. And we might as well make ourselves scarce and concede. Because that is death. Next turn they swing in with Rafine in the air. They can pump it up with the Connive ability of Rafine, and we are dead. Our opponent had a 2-drop, a 3-drop into a 3-drop Planeswalker into a... Oi, oi, oi. Yeah, this deck is definitely not competitive, I would say. It's just, I wanted to see it work. Shub is 14. We got the Brotherhood's End. Will it be soon enough, though? I'm gonna go ahead and keep this hand, even though it does look kind of crappy. Opponent contemplating very seriously whether or not they would like to mulligan. But yeah, we got the Scoured Barrens turn 1, maybe the Haunted Ridge turn 2, Sundown Pass turn 3, probably cast the Fable if they don't develop their board a ton, otherwise cast Brotherhood's End, and then once we get the second chapter of Fable, we can discard one of these Arms Race, because we really only need one of them on the battlefield, and then hopefully we draw into what we want. Opponent chooses to keep their hand, plays a white land. Are we facing soldiers? We are facing soldiers, believe it or not. Would you believe that? Our opponent here, soldiers, we're gonna probably want to hold up our Brotherhood End for as long as we can. That ruins our game entirely. So we're gonna have to go ahead and cast out probably Combat Thresher here. Scoured Barrens, very nice, but I'm gonna go cast Combat Thresher here. Hopefully draw into another card that might be of use. Don't really want to cast anything into our pending Brotherhood End. Admittedly, Scoured Barrens might have been a smart play here. Oh, we draw into untapped lands? Nope. Alright. In that case, we'll go ahead and play Scoured Barrens. Our opponent here does not have a 5th soldier, so we should only take a minimal amount of damage here. No attacks. We drew into every single arms race. Not very helpful. Our opponent wants to attack in. We get to chump block their Thalia. Oh. Opponent's going to create their soldiers to hopefully trigger their Harbin Vanguard next turn. We can go ahead and say, eat this. And disappear. If we had an Undying Malice, we could have casted that on the Combat Thresher and reoccurred it, which would have been cool. Can now go ahead and cast probably Fable here first before we get into the arms race. The arms race would allow us to cheat out a Cityscape Leveler. These opponents. Thalia. Alright, we're going to cast Fable because I'd really like to get these arms races out of my hand. And then we'll go ahead and discard 2 of them next turn. Hopefully our opponent does not develop their board an intense amount because we'd like to be able to delay a little before casting anything. Siege Veteran, that's quite the problem. Yep, go ahead and easily swing in. Well, that's an interesting opportunity. Go for the throat, Undying Malice. So we can go for the throat Thalia, but Siege Veteran then creates a token. I think what we want to do here is go ahead and cast this. This lets us go ahead and do Cityscape Leveler and Undying Malice. Might as well swing in, see if they want to trade their Siege Veteran. And then next turn we can go ahead and pull off the combo. Oh, it's the game we've been waiting for. Will we actually be able to beat them down, though? I think we want to cheat in our Cityscape Leveler because it allows us to remove their Thalia. And Arms Race gets around Thalia's tax, thankfully. Muriel, okay, new target to remove. We cannot activate any abilities on their turn, which is a bit of a problem for us. Bang. Bang. Do we have enough mana to... Could also hardcast Cityscape Leveler. Then we could do that. Though, if we go for the Throat Thalia here, that means we can Undying Malice for one. Yeah, we can go ahead and do this. Go for the Throat Thalia. Yeah, create your token. Whatever. Resolve. Go ahead, trigger this. Create our Cityscape Leveler. Next, go in, attack, get rid of a Muriel, because Muriel is a huge problem. Yep, create your token, yada, whatever. Next to blockers, do you want to chump our Cityscape Leveler? Next to damage. And then end turn. What? You're telling me it doesn't wait when I have a fucking instant? What? That is the most... Whatever. That's fine. We have Cityscape Leveler in the tank. It's fine. We can then use this to cheat in Phyrexian Fleshgorger, duplicate it with Reflection Kiki Jiki. I'm not mad. You are, okay? What is the best play now? I don't even know at this point. This is irritating. This is so irritating. Yup. Do your stupid Siege Veteran broken bullshit. Play fucking stupid ass soldiers. Oh, fucking hell. Why did it not wait? I was like, I could cast this early, but I'll just wait until it triggers, because then our opponent... Okay, well, this is just a heads up if you plan to play this deck. Arms Race, you better put a fucking pulse on your end stop. It's not gonna attack in with Siege Rider, you can attack in with the token, yada, whatever. Like, okay. Our opponent here, good at swinging with everything. What? He's afraid? Whatever. We'll go ahead, Arms Race out. Our Phyrexian Fleshgorger, I think, is the plan. Yep. Nice to go to combat. Oops. Whatever. Yeah, we want the mana. We don't want the mana. Next to blockers. Is he going to chump it up? He does have enough chump blockers here. Recruitment. Soldier. I'm going to mouse over them so our opponent thinks about it and follows through with it. Our opponent not following through with it, which is kind of strange. Doesn't want to block the recruitment officer. Now, actually, let's see if the end stop on the end of my turn works. Okay, this does work. I would have liked to do this last turn, because guess what? Cityscape Leveler would have taken rid of their Siege Veteran, and then they would have probably Brutal Cathar'd it. Or they probably would have Brutal Cathar'd that, rather than our fucking Phyrexian, or our Fable the Mirror Breaker. Fucking obnoxious. Whatever. Opponent here. Probably not winning this one. Brutal Cathar. You can't do that. No. You can't do that. You want to know why? Because you have to pay life if you target it. Oh no. Yep, you can only exile creatures. Yep, it's good game. I respect that. I respect that play. Alright, well, we got to see the combo in action here on this last game. I am sorry that I screwed up the previous turn. Hopefully that serves as a warning of how best to play this deck is put a thing on your end stop so that you can actually respond to it. Because I did not. But you can see how we struggled against more low to the ground decks with an actual curve, actual tier decks. But I think this deck still stands as a pretty fun and powerful deck, making use of Undying Malice and potentially Touch of the Spirit Realm to blink your prototype creatures and upgrade them, as well as using Arms Race to cheat in big things, and then using Undying Malice to keep them around. Fable the Mirror Breaker, just doing Fable the Mirror Breaker things. Go for the Throat. Destroy Evil was pretty good removal. Saw a few times we ran into an artifact creature where Go for the Throat wasn't very useful, so maybe you want to contemplate switching them out. But again, you're already going to be losing to those pretty fast decks if you can't draw into your Brotherhood's End or Depopulates. I don't know exactly what you want to do, because if you go for the Throat, now you're going to be even bleeding out even more health because you also have the Painlands. So it's a bit of your choice. We didn't get to see Brilliant Restoration come in there, nor did we get to see Portal to Phyrexia in any of our games yet. But I think the deck as it stands is a lot of fun. There's a lot of kind of synergy to it. And yeah. That will be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, subscribe. Helps out the channel a ton. You can also catch me occasionally streaming on Twitch at McFluffy52. And I will catch you all the next time. Have a nice morning, evening, night, afternoon, wherever and whenever you're watching. Ciao.